欢迎收听杂物间，
You are listening to The Storage Room,
你最好的口袋朋友。
your best pocket friend.
嗨，大家好，我是 Linsey，
嗨，大家好，我是 Mark，
我来自于中国云南，织女为霜。
我来自美国纽约，九曲18弯。
我们的第一期节目上线了，我很开心。
哎呀，我今天刚刚结束一个很好的 meeting。
Today, we invited a very special guest, and he's from Hong Kong. He's a very, very, very outstanding kind of young person. So,
Young person,
Well-
yeah, it's the same as minor, okay? Like, you're not avoiding the fact that I'm a minor.
yeah, kid. So, how can you introduce yourself to us?
Call me right there, me.
Okay.
Just I'm
Well,
me.
hello, me.
Yeah, I chose this name to confuse the hell out of people.
All right. So we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna call you Me in this episode.
Sure.
So Me, you're comparatively younger than us, so much younger than us, right? But the thing is, since we started to talk in these chat rooms and stuff, and a lot of people just said you have very old soul. So here's my first question. Do you actually feel like an old soul?
No,
No,
I feel like a child because I am one.
Yeah, it's okay. So you feel like a kid, but what do you think, Mark? Do you think he's an old soul?
He barely knows me.
Right. I do have to say that that I only met me a couple times in your chat room and maybe one or two times in the other chat rooms. My impression of me, I wouldn't say an old soul. I would say that it's a very kind of socialized person
Not
who's
socialized.
probably learned who's using so many curse words, let's say. Those curse words are the most impressive ones.
But we're not going to use a lot of curse words because I do the editing job. I know how difficult it is.
I wanna admit something, but as soon as I say it, I would just immediately get canceled.
So why so many curse words then?
It's
Tell us.
fun. It's fun. It's the same thing as dirty talk while having. It's fun.
Got it.
All right, just like talking. All right, if you talk and you curse, it's gonna enhance the way you talk.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and when you curse, people are probably gonna listen to you more. Because it's like, what the hell is this guy saying? If you just talk normally, probably people are just gonna fall asleep. Add a few curse words in there, and they're like, okay, I'm listening. People pay attention to curse words and bad words and controversial.
Right. So you're saying that you can draw people's attention as number one.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you, the thing you say more volume, if that's how you say it.
So you seriously want attention from people?
You're putting words in my mouth, Linsey.
So you want attention. So how important?
I mean, yeah, I am a teen, and teen kids and teenagers really want attention, and some young adults want attention too. It's basically this generation's people. You see a lot of people on social media doing stupid things for, internet points. That's basically seeking for attention, and that, attention seeking is rising with every generation.
I know the topic is going a little bit out of control right now, but still, I have to keep it. I have to keep it in a professional way, right? So here, I'm still going to ask you this question: do you actually prefer dealing with older people or younger people in your life? I mean,
Prefer older people, 100%. I hate young people.
Why is that?
I just don't like them. Like, I don't like their attitude. I don't like the way they talk. I don't like the way they look.
Can you describe the attitude that you feel like the young people kind of exhibits?
Like, no respect. No respect.
But wouldn't you say
egotistical.
that when you say so many curse words, that's a little bit
I don't think
disrespectful?
curse words are disrespectful. It's just a way of talking. Okay? Maybe back then in your generation, cursing is considered disrespectful, but nowadays, in modern age, cursing is basically every day. Okay? Hell, you'll probably hear people cursing while ordering your damn coffee. It's normal now. So like cursing is a way of talking, and my like what my view on disrespect is just like treating people not good. Like, I just don't like the attitude. I just don't like, the way they talk. I just don't like way people talk in general.
So obviously you do have double standards.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to like have bad attitude, but it's not fun getting bad attitude. You feel the same. You feel the same, Linsey.
All right.
We all do. We all do. Hey, sometimes you've been too good for too long. You want to be bad, so you start talking. All right, and then hey, it feels good, but when you receive it, it don't feel good.
All right. So how long have you been good?
I don't know. It's been on and off.
All right.
So in terms of dealing now, you cannot avoid in terms of communicating with younger generations and the older generations like us. So how do you compare? Like how do you deal with those two generations differently?
To be honest, I don't like comparing stuff from other stuff. It just kind of make things weird and complicated and not fun.
But I do have one more question for this, right? So
Sure.
Why do you prefer dealing with older people? I mean, I like you mentioned, you got the respect.
Yeah.
Right? Because the older people probably, they treat you in a way that you expected, right? So they don't actually curse in front of you, right? So you felt better when you're dealing with... Okay.
I'll say the thing that really bothers me between the two is actually manners, not respect. I forgot manner exists, okay? Kids' manners are way worse than adults. Adults have more manner, okay? So that's basically it. It's about manner.
Can you give a more specific example, like just anything that you can think of as a manner? Like how are they different? How do kids manner differently? How do you manner?
Well,
like,
here's
the reason I'm asking those questions, Me, is really it's not like I'm seeking answer out of you. It's sometimes the episode or recording is about making you think, right? So certain things that you just do it, right? But I want you to think as well. Like,
you want me to think deeper, but you said give me the simplest example.
Yeah, simplest example. Go ahead.
Simplest but deep.
Yes.
Wow, this is out of control.
Well, nowadays you can say teenagers or kids, they get a lot of bad influence online, so they got worse. How do I say? They're more arrogant than grown-ups. They don't know humility, and they're just not fun. Okay, of course there are some exceptions. Okay, and there are some. I'm not talking about all. I'm talking most. At least the most I've seen, and like most of them are not good. I don't like teenagers. I don't like myself.
You don't even like yourself?
Not to sound depressed, but I just don't like that I'm a teenager. I'm developing self-love for myself right now.
Now how do you do that? How do you develop your self-love?
Just be better. It's that simple.
Okay. So if I say, okay, so because we're talking about the old soul and everything here, right? So you claim that you don't feel like an old soul.
Nope.
But according to a lot of friends, like you do feel like an old soul sometimes, right? So here, I want to hear your ideas towards this. Like, do you think having an old soul means being mature?
To be honest, I've never even heard the term of old soul until you guys start saying it. Hell, I don't even think about it. I don't even think I'm mature. I think it's just autism and like not like unsupervised internet access. It's just those two: autism and unsupervised internet access.
All right.
Because I learned pretty messed up things online.
Then I'm quite curious. Then what about your parental supervision? I know that obviously in Hong Kong, so I'm assuming you're currently in Hong Kong. Hong Kong has a lot more in terms of unrestricted access to internet, right?
Yeah.
So you have a lot more freedom to see and hear a lot of other people might not. So what about your parents' supervision? How are they kind of knowing what you are browsing online?
I don't know. Like, I think they know mostly what I normally search online. It's just mostly the things I search online are like, people playing games and just talking with friends online. The only things that they don't know is like, my kinks and
Hmm.
yeah.
So do you actually have different hobbies compared to your peers, right? Like most of the people from your age, the
Yeah.
younger people, they prefer to, I don't know, play video games, right? They like
Yeah.
to, I don't know, do some kind of sports. So
Yeah.
do you actually have different hobbies compared to them?
I don't think so. I still do like the normal teenage thing, like, play with, electronic devices and just do some sports. I only started doing sports this year, and well, the only sports I'm doing is just like weightlifting and bodybuilding or whatever. And that's like the only sport that I really do.
Okay, so how many of your friends are doing this bodybuilding thing?
Only one.
Only
All the others are skinny.
so what do
Hell,
they say? What do they say about your hobbies?
I don't know. They don't really say anything about it. They're just like, okay, you do weightlifting, sure.
All right. All
But
right.
it does make me feel like what? How do I say this? It kind of makes me dumbfounded when they like show me their abs. Like, look, I got abs, okay? And it's like, oh, cool, you have abs. You're skinny. You have stick arms. I can pick you up. Like, it's just like some people, well, at least the teenagers around me, they think they have abs. They can fight, or they're strong because they have abs. It might sound like weird, but that's kind of how I think.
Okay, I see. So seems like even if you guys are younger, but you're pursuing the similar kind of stuff as adults.
To be honest, I don't really know myself all too well,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not sure about a lot of these questions. I'm not sure about the answers.
Right. I really like what Me had just mentioned. I really don't know myself that well. I think sometimes we go through life thinking, like even when we turn 30s and 40s and we think we know ourselves well, actually we don't, right?
Yeah. What adults do is pretty obvious, right? We label ourselves.
Well, we pretend, right? We
Yeah.
pretend that we know a lot of things, right? Not just we
Yeah.
label. I think label is what others put on ourselves, right? To a certain extent, and then we either accept it or reject it. But I think we sometimes pretend to be someone we are not. We pretend to know ourselves when we don't. But I really acknowledge and admire that what Me had just mentioned. Like, I don't know myself right now, and I have a long way to go to know myself. I really like that.
Hmm.
By the way, if you're just thinking that I'm special, I'm not. There's a ton of teenagers. If there's any other teenagers that's similar to me, they're gonna like, why is this kid even on here? I'm exactly like him. Why is he on here? Why is he considered special?
So
Well, they were
Like,
not on the chat rooms with us. They were not able to communicate and stayed in the chat rooms to have any kind of conversation with us because they would think that we're old and boring, right? They might even think that the topics that we discussed were uninteresting, so they don't stay. Where you did, so that makes you special, right?
I don't care about the topics, to be honest. I just kind of want to chill here with my friends. That's kind of only thing I care about right now.
Right.
Wow. But you're
Well, that's
different. We cannot say
yeah.
that you're special. Like, yeah, but special is too much of a word, right? But the different, you're kind of different, right? But here's my question. Like, do you actually feel different, around your peers most of the time? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, how different it could be.
I mean, I just feel autistic. I feel like, it's just like, like I just feel kind of, autistic around them, just like, oh, these guys are kind of normal. And I just kind of mumble to myself, talk to myself, and pretend there's a camera right there.
So sometimes even
Yeah.
if you're talking, you would imagine that people are interviewing you or something, and you would do that, right?
Actually, I think I got that habit from watching like YouTube videos of people playing games and they always just talk to the camera. And back then I wanted to be like a content creator myself. So I just kind of pretend, and then there's like an invisible camera just, filming me. I just talk to myself, even though pretend there's a camera, but there is no camera. Okay. And then sometimes I just realize that, wait, I'm talking to literally nothing.
Well,
am I schizophrenic?
I have to say I had that kind of experience when I was a teenager as well. I want to be the center of the attention. I want to be the center of the topic. I want to be looked at,
I mean, that's
Yeah,
everybody's
okay.
dream, no?
Mm.
Everybody wants to be the world's favorite.
To be known and to be paid attention to, I think, at least. So even when you are using curse words, so the objective, the primary objective will be gaining some attention. And if you are creating content, then other people will look at you, right? So you mentioned that your peers will be doing something and you don't feel like you fit in. So they act normal and you acting autistic. So do you think is it important to fit in with peers?
I mean, if you care about your reputation, then yeah, but like if you don't care about your reputation, then no, you don't have to.
So what about you? What did you do, or what do you do?
A part of I got two-sided. Like a part of me wants to fit in, but a part of me I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not. So it's kind of like I want to be accepted by who I am. Yeah, that's more accurate.
What kind of efforts did you make to fit in, to be accepted as a person as you are?
I don't really try. Like with the kids at my age, they're just say that. They're just.
So you just let the words out, and then you'll just let people choose whether they would like to accept you as you are, right, or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your attitude. It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good. You just let it out, and then all right.
Yeah, but it does feel bad being like an outcast, quote unquote outcast. But just you want to be yourself,
Are you being yourself typically the way it is in real life? Because obviously we're interacting online, right? So there's this online world. Are you in a way careless about what other people think about you in real life, and then you just
I do. Actually, I do. Like, we all are cautious about what people think of us, okay? If I'm online shouting racial slurs, I'm not going to go out and start shouting racial slurs as well.
So there is certain filters in real life. There are some.
Yeah. Kids right now can be, really mature, too. I've talked to one kid on Discord before, he's gone through quite a rough patch in his life. His parents got divorced, and he's pretty sure his mom is a lesbian. And then there's another whole other can of beans I'd rather not share. But he's around 10 years old the last time I talked with him, and he's pretty mature for a 10-year-old. He's still he's way younger than me back then. And he's pretty mature for his age too, way more mature than me. And it's age maturity has no age gaps or limitations. A 5-year-old can be very mature. Okay, a 5-year-old can know about world politics, or about what's the concept of love, or what's how to be human or whatever. This is really no age limit of being mature and immature. Okay, you can be old and still be childish.
Right. It's mature. We always say mature for your age, right? We don't just say, "Oh, you're mature." We say you are more mature than your age. We expect somebody to behave certain ways during certain age period, right? So
now I'm curious. How do you interpret love?
Me?
Yeah.
I would just say it's the most simple thing ever. It's just two people who care about each other and wants to see each other improve and be happy. It's that simple.
That simple.
Yeah, it's that simple. I would say there's different types of love: family love, friend love, and romance love.
What
It's
about
just different.
What about Mark? How do you interpret love as a middle-aged person?
How do I interpret love? I think first of all, it's not about me today, but I will say that love it's about accepting the entire person, the good and the bad, and anywhere in between. You are mature enough to encompass the whole spectrum. That's how I probably would say it's a way of love. Yeah.
All right. And I interpret love in this way. I think love is a kind of ability, and you're supposed to create an environment and everything for you and your family members and your partner and anyone you love. That's how I interpret love. And then I'm gonna have the second round of the question. Me, how do you interpret self-love that you just mentioned?
You know, when you just said self-love, I just immediately self-love. It's just accepting yourself.
Then what about you, Mark?
Self-love. Self-love is simple. You love yourself.
Yeah.
Again, I think love I would equate to almost accept. If you accept yourself.
Why are we suddenly talking about love all of a sudden? I feel like from my personality, I do have like I have been diagnosed. Okay, this medical condition, I do have a diagnosis. I do have mild ADHD. So I don't really like staying on script or doing a plan. I kind of like, freestyling things. If it's not serious, then I kind of want to just freestyle. I kind of want to just, go with the flow and do whatever. Okay. If I suddenly feel like, hey, you know what? I feel like talking about this thing, and then, oh wait, I want to talk about this thing. I'll just do it. Or just like, hey, I want to do this. I don't want to stay on script.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do. One brother.
Older or younger?
Older.
Okay.
I do have a lot of cousins, so that's part of it.
How do you think that your parents, how many age difference between you and your brother?
8 years.
Okay. So do you think your brother is like a brother to you, or your brother is more like a little bit more caretaker, or how's your relationship with him?
It's just, well, me and him don't really talk a lot, and the time we do talk is just okay. We do share some interest in like, anime and gacha games, and that's kind of it.
So is your brother your role model or something?
No, far from it, no.
So do you have a role model?
No, not yet. I don't really have a role model. If I'm ever gonna, aspire to be something, I just want to aspire to be me, I just want to be the best version of myself. I don't want to be nobody.
Right.
So what is the best version of yourself?
I was gonna ask the same question.
Well, okay, Linsey, what's the best version of yourself?
Well, I could be richer, thinner, more beautiful, having, a lot of time. Like I could spare a lot of time on things that I don't really have patience to right now. So that's the better version of me. So what about you?
For me, it's just be better at anything I'm doing. It's really that simple. It's like better at talking, better at doing things. Just better at doing things. Not better at 1% of thing. In my opinion, I just want to be better at doing things.
So what are the things you're doing? You are spending the most time with right now?
Oh, definitely working out, like building muscles and everything. And strength training.
What do you think that by building up muscles and be more active, what do you think that's going to help you achieve?
It's going to be confidence, and it's going to do well for my physical health. I mean, yeah, and like everybody has their ideal body that they want. So like, kind of just working on trying to have a good body. It's kind of bodybuilding.
Then what about your future plans? Right now you're still in school, right?
Yeah.
So you're always thinking like, okay, you're gonna be the better self, but that's just a kind of concept, right? But if we seriously talking about this the actual thing, right? So let me ask you the boring question ever: what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I'm not gonna answer that because
Why not?
nobody knows.
What do you want to be? First of all, do you want to go to college?
I don't care about studying. To be honest, the only reason why I'm in school is just to get a high school diploma. That's kind of it. And then I'll just find a job or whatever.
So find what kind of job? What are you thinking of? Or any
I don't
job?
know. I don't know. I think what I'll do is just trial and error, see what I like, discover my passion along the way.
What about your parents? Doesn't your parents kind of give you any guidance? Or how about your parents?
They do the exact same thing that you guys are doing. Saying, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, we are your parents' age. We're exactly your parents' age.
Okay.
Well, so you obviously you don't want two more parents to be interviewing you.
I'm here to talk with friends, not get a lecture.
Absolutely. You consider Linsey as friends. So
yeah.
So why? She's a 30-something-year-old lady.
40. About to be 40. Yeah.
So about to be 40-year-old lady.
And Daniel's almost about to be 50, okay? And I'm friends with her.
So why?
Because she's fun to talk to.
Okay.
That's
so
all?
what do you talk to her? What kind of fun do you talk to her about?
Just random stuff.
And I have to warn you that I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher in my real life. So I would be like giving people lectures all the time. Like, why do you choose me as your friend?
You're just fun to talk to. That's it. That's literally it.
Do you think
you don't gotta find so many deeper meaning and stuff when it's simple. It's just fun to talk to. Having a good time just means being friends.
I'm just very curious about your upbringing now. I mean,
my mom's from mainland and my dad is from Hong Kong.
Do you know their love story, how they met and all that stuff? Did you ask?
I did back then, but now just looking back at it, I couldn't care less.
You couldn't care less.
Like,
how do you describe your relationship with your parents?
Mom gives emotional support, and then dad gives financial support. Support is kind of like that.
All right.
That's basically every family.
Kind of family, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The brother is not the role model, but more of a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not that lonely at home, right?
Well, we don't really interact much, so I just kind of stay in my room all day. The only time I really go out is just to go to the gym.
Oh, yeah. I heard. Oh, yeah. I think your brother is in the other country right now.
Yeah, he's in Japan. Yeah, he's working. He was in college. No, he was in university. Like, cool.
Would it better if your brother is with you?
No, I like the privacy in my own room.
Okay.
So you shared before your brother left for Japan or left for college that you guys shared the room together.
Yeah, and I sure do love the privacy now.
I have kids who are 5 now, right?
Yeah.
And they are gonna grow up to be that age, your age. I'm just looking at it to say, what should I do? What are your concerns that when my kids grow up to that kind of age, right?
Like if they grow up to be teenagers, teenage boys, and teenage boys are teenage boys, right? It's very
because
normal.
I'm more thinking the reason I'm asking is because think about it like simply as do they need their own room? When do they need to have their own room? I'm actually trying to learn from you on that.
Teenagers really need that privacy because if they don't get privacy, their mental health is not going to go. Okay, even though being lonely is it's bad for your mental health, but you do need the privacy.
At what age do you think that you would have liked to have your own room?
Like, definitely teenagers. Like, teenage ages, okay? It's definitely teenage ages, okay? When you want, want some, don't want to be bothered by anything, okay? Don't want to be bothered by anyone, you just kind of want to be in your own world. It's kind of like that. It's basically in teenage age. You want to have a private room. You want to be, alone. Okay, just doing your own thing and nobody just, butting their nose into it.
There's a whole purpose of me talking to him. I feel like this is a kid that I'm gonna look at that I have to deal with.
Right.
Well, first, how to avoid this is to don't give your child a phone. Do not do that. Restrict their phone usage.
You think that's even possible? You were not gonna be screaming and like doing anything possible to gain the access to the phone?
If you don't just give them the phone, then you're gonna, oh my God, you're gonna be, your kids could hate you. for not giving them a phone.
Okay, if they hate me, then boo, okay? All right, they'll understand, okay? Temporarily hate, okay, until they realize. And if they don't realize it, I'd rather just disown them.
Yeah, so why? You love your phone. You love the access to the content.
Yes, I do.
The phones.
Here's the thing. I support, spanking children, and not in that way, spanking your children and, restricting their phone usage. I really agree, that way of parenting, but not, I personally got like double standards, I like using the phone, I like the internet access, and I like that I wasn't really, parenting for me wasn't really physical, and I'm glad that didn't happen to me, but I know if what I am right now, I don't really have a good attitude, and I don't really have, and I talk not really respectfully. So, like, you don't want a child to be like me. I'll just say that.
You do have the double standards, and you are proud of it somehow.
Yeah. It's just, I'll just say it. It's like, I'm glad that my parents didn't beat me because I don't want to suffer. But, like, if we want to have, like, better children and other stuff, then we should, like I said, we should give them a sense of discipline and consequences, all right, and restrict their phone usage. Like, that right there is going to improve how to raise children correctly, okay? Because right now, everybody just put a screen in front of a child and then just leave there for like a couple hours, like,
All right. So here's a question that I am seriously confused about something about my students.
Yeah.
Let's say some of my students are not studying hard, right?
Yeah.
Like, they know the problem. If they don't study hard, they don't get a chance to get into a better university or something, right? But the thing is, even if they know that, they just don't work. They just don't study. And then what's going on there from your perspective? Because you're a younger person. You're the teenager, right? Like, you know that if you don't work hard, you don't get into good universities, right? And you do want to get into good universities, but why can't you? Why can't you focus on your study? So that's something I don't know about my students.
Well,
why?
Temporary suffering. Temporary suffering just means, like, I don't want to suffer right now. I'll just deal with it later. I don't want to do this right now. I want to do that. I'm going to deal with it later. I'm going to deal with it later. It's basically like that. Like, you don't want to do something right now, so you just don't do it. It's sometimes a lot simpler, it's a lot simpler just to not do it than to do it.
So even if you have a lot of stress, like, even if you know you're going to be beaten up by your parents, even you know that you'll be criticized by your teachers, we don't feel like doing it, you just don't do it.
Yeah, because, like, well, here's another thing. If you feel like you're being in a life, and homework or studying, it's just going to make it more even though it's going to, short term, it's not going to do much. But long term, it might. If it's not a short term fix to what your problem is, like, most likely you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it.
So they need to see the immediate reward. If there is no immediate reward, they give up very quick.
Yeah.
So and we need to think about that.
And it's not only just for teenagers or kids, it's everyone. I can tell you and Linsey, you do have the same kind of, thinking. It's just not about studying. It's about something else. I don't know what, but it is going to be something else. Everybody has it.
Well, because also, Linsey, because I think from Me's earlier conversation, she has said it like, I don't know about myself. So why am I thinking so far? Right? How do you telling me that university is good for me? I might not think so. Right? That's number one. So motivation is not there. Your motivation, parents' motivation, and Me's motivation is different. Me's going to say, well, I just want to graduate and get this high school degree diploma as soon as possible. I'm going to go and find a job. You're telling me, though, university is good for me, but I don't think so. That's number one. So there's no long-term motivation, right? And then number two is that if this makes me happy now, I'm going to do what makes me happy now. Like, of course, we are all short-term kind of dopamine satisfactions is very important, but they are just like now.
And sometimes you just get fed up, You just get fed up with what you're doing right now. I have a lot of friends online, and they deal with a lot of, stress about school and everything. and they really just like, they just get fed up. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Parents are being a teachers being a classmates are being a and why the hell do I gotta do this to feel even worse?
So why is teacher being a what does teacher do that you don't like? You wish teacher were not doing that.
It's bro. Being annoying, okay? It's like giving you work, okay, or not understanding what you're going through. All right. It's kind of like similar how your boss, okay, when you're working and then suddenly your boss gives you like requirements or orders to do, and then you're just like, I can't do it right now, bro. I'm fed up. It's basically the same. School and a job is almost the same.
So how do you think you're gonna go into a society, find a job, and the boss? You say it's the same thing. The boss is gonna give you things that you don't want to do.
I'm not saying that I feel like that. I'm talking about a lot of my friends feel like that.
Well, I thought you don't want to do either, right?
I don't want to do because I'm lazy.
So when you go to job, then the boss says, "Could you please freaking take this out? Could you please organize the shelf there?" So they're like, "I don't want to do it."
Hey, if I'm getting paid for it, then yeah, I will. Hey, if I'm getting
money's a motivator.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Money's a motivator. Okay. So would this change the situation here? If you got a prize at school, right?
Yeah.
If you won probably the English competition or something, and then your parents will give you, let's say, 1,000.
Yeah.
Would you actually work harder?
I'll think about it.
You'll think about it, but
actually, I got an iPad for getting that.
So basically, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing,
if
Linsey.
The prize
here's the
is
things like
worth it, I would.
Absolutely.
Like,
here's the thing.
would do it.
See, it's a motive. It's basically saying like this is what I imagine the scenario will be, right? To motivate them. It's like, okay, Linsey says, okay, I've already speak with the parent. If you were able to in this whole semester go into this pro process, semester is very long. Maybe whatever the short term, right? Maybe in this month, you're gonna be able to get this objective finished. Then you'll get $1,000 to spend it however you want.
Yeah, that's motivation. It's similar to motivation. Literally.
You have to have a big enough reward.
Yeah,
money reward, and they get to choose how they want to spend it.
Yeah, it's basically how your job is. Like, hey, are you willing to work overtime for more pay? You would say yeah.
According to a specialist, it is the worst way to motivate a kid. And
hey, if you want, money is a bad way to motivate kids. Okay, stop rewarding adults with money. Start giving them candy now. Okay.
Can you tell me why this is the worst way to motivate a kid?
It prepares them for like future jobs. Like, why is it bad?
I don't know. I was taught so. I'm a teacher. But still.
You're a teacher. You get taught by the traditional things, okay? Traditional. Tell them, you get good grade. You go to university, get degree, become doctor. No, become doctor, homeless.
Well, that I'm with you, Me. This I'm with you. I will never tell my kids that they have to graduate go to university for a job. I will never do that.
Yeah. So
university.
I'm serious.
Question.
I think money is a good motivator. Money should be a good motivator. No, I mean I don't care how you get the money.
Have you heard of like doing chores?
Some kids they would actually do the chores, right?
Yeah.
Do the housework, and the parents would actually give them allowance for doing that. They're actually somehow trying to train the kids to have this awareness of doing housework or something, right? So the purpose of the education by using money to motivate kids, the purpose of the education is to raise the awareness to do the chores. Like you live in this freaking house and you're supposed to.
That's like
Linsey, that's your purpose. The kids don't look at it that way. Kids say, I'm gonna get money, I'm gonna save it, or I'm gonna use it to spend it on something else that I want.
Okay, Linsey.
So when it comes to study,
Linsey,
what?
Linsey, if you don't think money's a good like motivator, then okay, start telling your boss don't pay you. Start to say, hey, pay me in candy because that's what I get. Okay, because candy's a nice reward, not money.
Wow,
give me a lollipop. Give me a lollipop enough.
Wow, this is gonna be a great episode if we're serious.
If you're gonna get a reward for doing something, then it's a good motivator. like this is something you don't want to do, but you're gonna get a reward for doing it. Okay, you know what? I will tell. If you do it enough, you probably get a skill. Like, hey, first time, hey, you're gonna sweep the floor. Okay, after 100 times, probably know the best way to sweep the floor.
I agree with you, Me.
You probably like
this is I totally agree with you. Now we are getting somewhere.
Yeah. Like, okay, here's $10, sweep the floor. First time you did the job, you missed a corner. Okay, you forget to lift up the mattress or whatever. All right, the 100th time, you know every single crevice. Okay, you know the most efficient way to do this thing. Okay, you can probably get it done in 5 minutes, while the first time it took you 30 hours. You're gonna learn a new skill and money is a good motivator to do that. And there's a lot of other shit, like getting a reward. For me, like working out, getting muscles, looking better is a good motivator, and it's a reward for doing hard work. You get it, Linsey?
Wow.
Yeah. Also, like, going further, when he gets that money, gets that reward, that's why I'm on his side on this one, right? When you get the money and the reward, he has to decide on his own how to spend it. I cannot intrude. Let's say he gets $1,000 now, and then he's gonna have to decide how he's gonna spend that money, at what time, and where, and what, right? So I think that's another way that he has to learn through the mistakes. That's why he blew his freaking $1,000 at, I don't know, a game console. And then he realized, wait a second, I did not plan the rest of the money for games, right? I bought a game console, but now I'm running out of money to buy games. So now he's going to learn from that. I actually fully support in terms of as early as possible to have kids learn how to manage and decide on their money. I mean, of course, I'm not going to, for 5-year-old, for $1,000, right? But you know what? Like at his age, I think it's the right time. 16 years old. I would actually definitely trust him with, like, from very beginning, for $100, $200, $500. I would start trusting him on those decisions.
And also, like it kind of makes kids like, hey, if I do more effort, maybe I'll get more money. And I actually, one time I did do that. Like, my dad just like said, okay, just can you clean up this surface in the kitchen? And you know what? I feel like, this place is kind of too dirty. It's kind of like too dirty. I'm gonna do a deep clean. This thing is too disgusting. Hell, I got triple the amount I got. Like, put more work in it, and then you'll know.
Can I ask? Your father did not promise you triple the amount. You just, in yourself, you say, you know what? I'm doing it. I might as well do it a little bit better. And then your dad saw it, right? Saw the results. Yeah. And then said, well, you know what? He's worth more than what I had promising. Is that how the case went?
Well, sort of. Like, I to be honest, in my opinion, I did not really expect a triple amount. It's just kind of an example. Like, if you give kid like a work, something to do, like a job, and then you pay them, give them awards, but like it gives you there's a chance for them to just do better, right? And do something that you don't expect, and then they will get a better reward. Like, do better and get a better reward.
Right. So next time he will be motivated just to do it better, regardless what was promised.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, if I do better, I'll get a better reward,
Right.
It's kind of this mindset to it. So next time I will do better and see if, and maybe I'll get a better reward again. Right. And if you keep doing that, you're going to do this thing the best, and then you're going to get a good amount.
All right. So if earlier you said you're not gonna, you're not gonna go to college in the future, right? So if your parents promise you, like, let's say 10,000 Hong Kong dollars,
that's very little, actually.
If you ever got into a university, so would you actually work hard for it?
To be honest, I feel like university is just a waste of money.
So, okay.
Here's the thing.
Why?
I'm not talking about like university is useless. No, it's going to be, a lot of people have, a lot of different goals. Like, some people want to be mathematicians. Some people want to be, doctors, and they have to do all these things to get the requirements, and you got to learn from them all. But then,
skills.
Skills in university and knowledge. But in my opinion, if all the things I've known for myself, I'm not really interested in the school. I don't know how to say it properly. It's not school. Like gotta
structured
go
learning. You don't like it. You like to learn from like
experience and
experience, right?
I like to experience it and learn it, not to just from like a textbook or whatever. And even at my school right now, we have this thing called APL, and which is you can have a course that normally you have to choose classes. You gotta choose like do you want science? Do you want geography? Do you want physics? Okay, and then like but but with APL you can choose something that's not in the traditional learning, like traditional course. You can learn how to brew coffee. You can learn how to teach people to work out. You can teach people how to code or photograph or hands-on jobs, like job training, instead of learning like from book or learning knowledge. You get experience from like doing things. And that's and I got a chance to. Here's the thing, at my school only the students who perform very badly in like written exams they're the only ones that are able to enter APL classes, and the people who get good grades, they can't really do APL classes because they have the potential to do well in those other subjects, while the bad kids, they don't know how to do them. So if they get into those other classes, just be waste. So just have this APL thing, and the bad students who have bad grades, they can learn it, and then they will learn some skills from it. They can find their passion, because mainly those kids who have bad grades, they don't really have a passion in learning or whatever. So they'll learn something from working or doing something hands-on, like taking photos or cooking some desserts, and maybe they'll find some passion and they will learn the skills to do it. Some teachers told me that, hey, your English is actually really good, and we do see the potential for you to go into like better classes, like healthier classes, people who have good grades and everything. We consider you to have good grades. Would you like to go into those classes? And normally that opportunity is extremely rare, and I deny it because I don't find any of the other things like history, science, or math or whatever. I don't find them interesting at all. I don't find any of them fun. It's not really something I want. So I choose APL so I can actually experience things, hands-on. Like, I could get to do some things I won't do. Like, for example, like working out and baking stuff. Like last year, I have an APL class, which is baking desserts and everything, and it was fun. I prefer that over like sitting in class all day, just listening to talk about how it's way more fun. What I said was probably from what I think about APL, probably to the school is different. It's probably just a way to, okay, these kids are doing so bad at their grades. Okay, maybe we'll just give them another course. Okay, it's going to be a lot easier. They can pass it easier than these other classes, so they can
it's a credit.
Get a good score.
Credit towards your graduating kind of requirement.
Yeah, to schools it's just credit but for me it's actually a way to find passion in something.
Right,
you can actually work.
You need to do it. You need the experience to know how you feel about it. I think some students, they were told that what could be done, and they just follow the instructions. They believe on what other people are telling them, where you need to experience it yourself to know.
Yeah.
But according to your the description to yourself, like you just claim yourself to be something different, right? But there's one thing that you did. You actually won a prize in English competition, and you're not only the first in your class, you are the first of the whole grade. So how many classes are there in your grade? Five classes, and you're the top one.
Yeah, there's around like 180 students in total.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. So how does that make you feel in terms of getting on the top of the entire grade?
I mean, it feels good, but to be honest, when I was sitting in like, the auditorium when, you gotta go up and get your prize, I just feel like I don't feel like I belong here. Or it's like, why is people getting so hyped about this? It's literally just a sheet of paper saying, congratulations, you did a good job. That's it. Like, you don't get any other prize, just a piece of paper with your name on it. It says, hey, you did this, and you did this. It's nothing. All I got was a sheet of paper. That's it. Hell, I did it twice on my, when I was in the 8th grade, I did it too. I didn't even get a prize for it.
So even the prize, even that feeling of the feeling of success is no better than money.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You probably wish there was some kind of monetary reward.
Yeah, like I did get a monetary reward. It's that my parents bought me an iPad.
Okay.
A new iPad. That's the one thing I was kind of hoping for. Because like my birthday was coming up, and I'm not sure if they're willing to spend 10,000 RMB on an iPad for me just for my birthday, even though they bought me an iPhone like last birthday. So like, hey, call me spoiled, but
iPad is 10,000 renminbi
for 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte.
Oh, okay. So you had a lot of storage. Got it.
Yeah, and then it's like I don't think they'll buy it, but if I use this, maybe I can get a leverage, and maybe I can actually get what I want. And I did. And I got an iPad for it. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but like if I'm not gonna get a reward for it, like it's just kind of it's just a sheet of paper saying you did good or you did something. Congratulations. And then you just send you off your way. Like it's nothing special. Even trophies, in my opinion. It's like, cool, it's just an object. It says you did good at something.
So what about games? Like when you eliminate some of the bosses in the game, does that make you happy?
Like if I spend a lot of hard work or like time to do this thing, then when you do it, then when you beat it, it feels good. It's kind of like the same with, it's kind of the same with trophies, like I just said, rewards. But like if you work hard for that reward, then okay, you will feel amazing just getting the reward. But in my opinion, it's just like at the end of the day.
How long does it fade, the feeling?
It's maybe just 2 days, at most a week. And if you're really full of yourself and egotistical, it's going to last for you entire life. It's like, when you turn 60, you're going to say, back in my day when I was, 16 playing at the quarterbacks, I was the strongest guy there. I could beat everybody up. And then you're just sitting in the wheelchair. Like, when you're so full of yourself, it's that.
好汉不提当年勇.
Yeah, no, but it is a very special episode. Very special one.
Wow. You just go completely off the script. That's what it is.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep that. If you're 25 and, if you seriously want a footage, I will send it to you. We'll see what kind of things you said. And thank you very much, me, myself, and I, and welcome to our show. And stay tuned.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys next time.
Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.